Hello, welcome to episode 120 of the Epic Film Challenge 2, 1001 movies you must see before you die. 1987, I think, is the year, and the film is The Princess Bride. Before we even get into this, I remember vividly the day I watched this. I'd come back from a wrestling trip, I was soaking through, and I was so pissed off. I got home, I took my clothes off, put them on the radiator, got my dressing gown on. My mum was watching it on the TV. She said, watch this film, it's great. And I just loved it. And I remember feeling so satisfied and warm and cozy and just feeling like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't stay up there for the night in my cold clothes. And I just fell in love with the film. Many years later, I watched it with Connie. Or I'm not sure if we did like a watch, like a joint viewing where I was in Wales and you were in Norway and we kind of pressed play at the same time. But you were not a fan of this. And I
absolutely hated it.
And I was bringing this up as, you know, okay, it's in the book, we're going to do this video. I feel like watching it, and Connie was like, oh god, there's no way. And I just said, I can't understand that. I can understand not liking it, but I cannot understand someone telling me that they hate this film. So I kind of had
You wouldn't believe it.
I couldn't. So I had to force you to watch it again. So we watched it again.
Hang on now. You didn't force me to watch it. I said that I would watch it.
Yeah.
Because I recently watched A Nightmare on Elm Street again. 5 years later. I hated it the first time, loved it the second. So I thought maybe it will happen with this one.
Right. Yeah, and you said
that's why I said let's just watch it.
Yeah, but you also said like I'll never watch this again unless we watch it right now. So I kind of forced the issue and went along with it.
I kind of forced you to watch it right now.
I guess you did. Okay, enough of that. Let's not get bogged down in the details. Let's not get bogged down in the details. Okay. So what did you think in the second time?
I fucking hated it. I'm kidding. I actually enjoyed it.
Right.
Parts of it was really entertaining and good. I don't remember why I didn't like it the first time. It might have been Andre the Giant. Right. Because of his peculiar acting and. Okay. Yeah, the way he is, I guess. But everything else is just I found the wittiness of it really clever in a way. Exactly. Like
it was
because it was witty.
It was inconceivable to me that Connie didn't like this film.
I must have been in a really bad mood that day. I guess it's kind of like a mood kind of thing, even though you were in a bad mood when you started watching it and you just ended up loving it. But I'm pretty sure that it was a combination of you being really toasty and warm in your robe. Yes.
Anyway, so The Princess Bride, let's just not get off track on all that stuff. The film itself is this weird, and I was talking to a friend about this, and they were saying that it's so unlike anything else. I mean, you do have films that are kind of set in this medieval time period that are complete farces like the Monty Python films, but The Princess Bride is so, it's just, you can't categorize it as anything but The Princess Bride. It's comedy, it's fantasy, but it has these moments, for me anyway, of really, I don't know, there's some serious moments in it that get to me, and I'll get to that later on, but it's framed around this young boy in present day who's homesick from school. He's in his bed, and his mum comes up, I think, says, your grandpa's going to come and see you, and he's like, oh god, okay, he's playing this video game, he doesn't want to, you know, grandpa's coming over. Grandpa comes in, he says, I got a present for you. He unwraps it, it's this book, and he's like, you know, this is the book that I used to read to your dad when he was sick, and my dad used to read to me when I was sick. It's called The Princess Bride. And so the whole film is told, you know, to this this grandchild, but throughout the film, like, it'll just cut back to them. And it's really well, like, edited into the whole story and stuff, and like, I really liked how that all worked. And the grandpa is played by Peter Falk, who's just, I love him so much, you know, obviously Columbo, but just a great actor, and I thought he was great in this. But it's a really fun framing for the whole film. And it really allows the humour of the story to work on an extra level, I think. And it's a typical story about a guy and a girl who fall in love, and there's a whole story, and, you know, we won't go into all those details and things. But it's a nice adventure, you know, it's got some cool effects. But the comedy is where it really stands out.
It's very parody-ish.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a satire of the genre.
It's I just love the scene with the fencing.
Yes,
that's my favorite scene.
Oh yeah.
the whole build up to it is just, to me, it's hilarious.
It's
really
great. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, the whole build up to it, and then the scene itself, and then it's just great. You know? Yeah, I guess that is my favorite bit. The rest is good, but that's like without that scene. No, it kind of makes the movie for me. Okay. When I think about it now, that's what I remember, and that's just like so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I think about the other scenes, it's like, yeah, it's funny.
Okay.
Because it's so great. It's so up here, and the rest is like funny.
Okay.
But that's hilarious. It's great. I loved it.
Okay. So you like the one scene.
I wish it was those two guys throughout the whole movie.
Well, it kind
if it was,
it kind of is.
Yeah. No, it isn't.
Well, an hour and a half long, fencing scene.
It's gone for like 20 minutes or 30.
Yeah. So we have Cary Elwes, who plays the Dread Pirate Roberts, this masked mystery individual.
Looks like Sorrow a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably intentional. And then we have Mandy Patinkin as Inigo Montoya, who's my favorite part of the film. I love his story. I just
remember his line now.
It's Montoya. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. Killed my father, but appeared to die. And honestly, like the way that line plays out at the end, because he has this whole Inigo Montoya's story is that he's looking for the guy who killed his father, and that's his life is fueled by revenge, and of course he ends up finding him, and it's he finds him and he fights him, and it's played for laughs, but at the very end. I just think it's such a powerful moment at the same time, and it crosses over being just a gag, and it gets me a little bit. It's like, so it has those moments that I really enjoy outside of the comedy. Andre the Giant is in it, and
his head is so massive compared to the other guys.
I tell you what, I love Andre the Giant. Every time he's on the screen, it's just a delight. I really like his character in the film. I love the way he plays him. He's just like. And I know people like him in a way, just these big jolly giants. I've known quite a few of them in my time who are just big, friendly, huggable, nice.
Known them.
Yeah, I have a few friends who are tall and big, and they're just friendly, jolly giant types, and he certainly fits that mold. And yeah, he's weird with the kind of the French accent and stuff, but
with the what accent?
French accent.
That's supposed to be
French accent. It's supposed to be French. Well, he's from France, so...
Is he?
Yeah, it's not supposed to be.
I'm sorry, it just didn't... It just sounded European in general.
Well, it is European.
Yeah, but I mean, you have a French accent, you talk like this, or something like that, but he didn't sound like that.
Well, no, his voice is very deep. But anyway, anything else you would like to add about the film?
I enjoyed Andre's parts more now than last time, maybe because I've seen a lot more wrestling with him, and we've seen the statue, and
True, yeah. I forgot about that, yeah.
Me knowing that he's dead and all kind of, changes things.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and he's supposed to be stupid in the movie.
Yeah.
Stupid as in not completely clever.
Not stupid, but more...
He's not clever in the movie. So that makes it okay for his
more
way
just dim, I guess. Not like a...
You mean dumb?
No, dim and dumb are different. Dim and dumber. Anyway, one thing I want to say, there's a couple of cameos in there from these like legendary comic actors. One of them being Billy Crystal, who plays this old kind of witch doctor. Didn't love him in the film, bit too much, but. I'm not even going to not get into that because it'll just take too long. There's a guy who's this kind of snotty kind of prince character who's he's kind of the villain of the film. I think he plays that role perfectly because you just want to just slap him in the face because he's such a smarmy prick, So that guy does well.
So much poison in your prick.
It's a great word, prick.
Yeah. Got the P in it.
Is it a film you should see before you die?
Well, you're a definite yes, aren't you?
It's not a definite yes, but it is a yes. Yeah, I do think it is a film you should see before you die. As far as like comedies go, I think it's a really strong one.
Well, I want to show people it. I want my class to see it because it's kind of like a movie you should see.
Right.
And since you can't see it after you die, I guess you have to see it before you die. It's kind of a maybe for me.
Okay. What are you thinking
I'm glad I watched it again, though.
Okay.
And I do recommend it, but I think you gotta be in kind of the right mindset, and it's a very strange kind of humor.
It is a strange kind of humor.
But if you do like those British funny movies from the 80s, Monty Python, if you like those kind of movies, you're gonna like this one, because it has some
off-the-wall humor.
Yes.
Right.
It's strange.
It is strange. The music I wanted to touch on. There's two kinds of music. There's this kind of score that's used, and then there's this kind of medieval kind of sounding thing that comes in. The medieval sounding stuff to me, I didn't like it. It sounded cheap and TV production-ish to me. I didn't like it. But then there's this guitar score that comes in that is just beautiful, and throughout the whole thing I'm thinking, oh, this sounds like that song Local Hero, or the same kind of tone from Mark Knopfler. And at the end of the film, it was like music by Mark Knopfler. I was like, oh, well, there you go then. Yes, it's just like that was really surprising to me at the end. Directed by Rob Reiner, great director. And I want to say, what pushes it over the edge for me was the ending of the film, which I think Connie actually fell asleep for, the final line. And just to set it up, and again...
I was actually standing up as well, wasn't I?
Oh yeah, you were getting really bad with it. Yeah. Just to set it up, and if you haven't seen the film, kind of a tiny spoiler, but we've already said everything we need to say about the film, so you can turn it off if you want. Peter Falk, the grandpa, is telling the son about how, the guy and the girl who were in love at the beginning of the story, he was a farm boy, and the only words he ever said to her were...
As you wish. As
you wish. And it's kind of a nice, kind of play into their romance.
And it kind of meant I love you and that.
Yeah. And at the end of the film, the grandpa's finished telling the story to his grandson, who initially was like, oh god, I gotta stop playing video games to listen to a story, and he's not getting into it and stuff. But by the end, he's loving it, and he says to his grandpa, maybe you can come and read it to me again tomorrow. And the grandpa turns around and says, and looks at him and smiles and says, as you wish. And I just choked up when that happened, and I've completely forgotten about it. And it's just something so sweet that you I think anyone can relate to. And think about their grandparents like that, whether they're alive, whether they're gone, just those moments you share with them, and how you sometimes take them for granted, I think. And I think it's a really nice message to end the film on, in a film that is so, almost free of any serious moments. It's so comical. But I really loved that ending, forgotten about it, and it really struck me. And so that really influences my decision to say, yes, it is a film you should see before you die. Thanks for watching.